Good afternoon. This is Keith Brown in Moultrie, Georgia, with some cash commodity commentary for Monday. It's about 2:30 or so, give or take a few minutes. Markets were materially lower today, the grains. Cotton was nicely higher today. We don't know of any particular news for cotton other than it sort of acts like a contrarian most of the time. That is to say, when the other row crops are down, it's up, and when they're up, cotton's down. We saw evidence of that last week. And of course, case in point today, cotton up 100, while the row crops in Chicago materially lower, even though we've had some adverse weather. We do get crop planting, crop condition numbers out today for everything. That comes out about 4 o'clock, and we'll trade on that tonight. We suspect the corn crop could be running very much behind, while cotton is probably pretty much on target. So we'll see how that does pan out. Again, we were 100 higher in the new crop, and just doesn't really want to feel the need to roll back down at this point. Of course, we're in the month of we're approaching the month's end, was the month of May, and I would venture to say year in and year out, on average, I bet the peak for the market typically in a normal year comes in the month of May. But of course, of late, what's been normal in the cotton market? Over in the corn market, sharply lower today. We look at the weather maps. They've got snow, they've got wet, they've got cold, and yet we were down. Why is that? And that's because they're looking ahead in the next week, where they're looking for a drier type forecast. And given the technology and the equipment the Midwest farmer has, or the American farmer has, they can get that crop planted within two weeks, 10 days to 2 weeks. So that's the thing going on there. So materially lower today in corn and beans as well. November new crop beans did take out $12, although we did come back above that. Wheat today really suffered hard. The Black Sea area is looking better. Seems there's not that much demand around. Egypt is about to go broke, and so we're having a lot of difficulty in selling any wheat. So, the flip side of the equation has to be the weaker demand that we have. We did see a very interesting article out today that talked about the role that ethanol has played in the grain markets. And basically, in the last 10 years, or 10 years ago, ethanol only took up about less than 10% of corn demand. Now it's up there at 40-50%. So the world has had to go to find another source of cheap corn. So they've increased plantings around the world, and now we know that ethanol is definitely not the answer, but it leads us to be the residual supplier. So no longer is the U.S. the dominant grain supplier in the world, and that's pretty tragic, but you can thank the politicians. At any rate, let's see what tomorrow brings. Have any questions or comments, give us a call, 1-800-910-1910. Thanks for listening.